Afternoon, guys. Let's finish going through your packet of notes and finish up on the Holocaust today, and then I'll do kind of a little wrap up, and then all next week will be another page, no, two more pages of notes, and I might go ahead and put those up tomorrow if you want to get a jump start on it, plus new IDs and an extension to your, because this is kind of a combo unit that we're doing right now, so an extension to your packet. If you were not on the Zoom meeting yesterday, I'll upload that today so you can listen to what we discussed as far as your World War II project. If you want paper copies, you can meet me at the school on Mondays and get paper copies of whatever you need. And you can also turn in stuff if you would rather turn it in on paper instead of through Google Classroom. That's fine too. So we're going to finish up on your notes, page 70, on the Holocaust. Yesterday I left off, we were talking about the concentration camps. And also the thing that I mentioned, and I didn't ever go back to it, I just got busy and forgot when we were going over things, that if you are interested, and you can borrow my copy if you want it, or you can go on Amazon. I know it's not a good picture. I don't know if you can even see it from my phone. No, it's not going to show. Sorry. But it's called Surviving the Angel of Death. It's about the twin studies from the Holocaust survivor that I listened to at the workshop several years ago. Her name is Ava Moses Kor, Kor, and it's Ava, EVA. So if you wanted to look it up, it's a great fast read, pictures of her and her family and her twin sister. It's really fascinating. So that's something that you can check out if you're interested, or like I said, I can loan you my paper copy. But it's fascinating to hear about her experience as being a twin in the twin studies with Dr. Mendengel, who was referred to as the angel of death, because on the outside he looked like a really nice person, but on the inside he was doing horrible, awful, painful, and deadly experiments on not just twins, but children, the elderly, you name it. So concentration camps, we know that were used all across Europe, not just in Germany. It's Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Austria, and all surrounding nations. We even know that Stalin was sending his own people to concentration camps as well. We know that they are traveling in cattle cars. They're being taken from these ghetto-type camps. They're being squished into cattle cars. People are taking their belongings because they're assuming that they're just being transported somewhere else, that this is not a final destination situation. And stories and reports tell you of the chaos, the screaming. Nobody knows what's happening. They're telling you to go to the left or to the right, and you don't know if you're going into one of the gas chambers or if you're actually going to legit into one of the showers. And so it's a scary situation. We know that people are dying due to malnutrition. They're dying because of exhaustion, diseases. And we know that it's children all the way up through adults. They're giving up all their belongings. We know that they're dehumanizing them as they come in the camps, which means they're shaving their head. They have dentists that are taking out their teeth and removing any fillings, gold fillings, and melting the teeth out to use the gold fillings. They're taking their shoes, their clothes, any belongings that they take from them, putting them in uniforms. Again, this is a way for them to dehumanize them. So it might be a little bit easier for the soldiers to not think about them as people when they're treating them the way that they're being treated. We know that they're stuffing them into wooden bunks and barracks. You see the pictures on your slide. I know those pictures really don't even do it justice as to what you would have seen inside the concentration camps. All this is part of Hitler's final solution. And I kind of touched on this just a little bit the other day. But he is talking about, as part of this final solution, eradicating everyone that's not considered part of that master race. So it's not just Jews, it's any race that is not considered part of that Aryan master race. Anyone that is not Caucasian, blonde hair, blue eyes. We know that his scientists were actually working on coming up with a scale and showing rating races and how from inferior to superior based on science and measurements, the length of your nose, the width of your forehead, the size of your ears. They were looking at everything as justification that there was a, quote, superior and inferior race. We also know that gypsies, as well as anyone that is disabled, whether it's mentally or physically, all being exterminated as soon as they come in the camp. The others are going to be used for slave labor to work on wartime production. We talked about yesterday, the Auschwitz is one of the biggest camps. It's not the only one. We know that it's in Poland, and they're gassing around 12,000 people a day. And we know by the war's end that we have around 1.6 million people. And again, that's an estimate. That's just a guess that we know that die at just Auschwitz alone. That's not even including the other camps that are spread all across Europe. So we know that they are doing mass executions, burying them in mass graves, doing mass shooting. Can't even think of the word now. Anyway, but various measures of mass execution, even though the gas chambers were usually the easiest way for them to do a mass killing. We know that they're taking bodies and cremating them to get rid of all the evidence as much as possible, and people report the constant smell of burning skin and hair, just 24/7, 365, as long as those stoves are going on, and they're having to use slave labor from the camp to put in the bodies and take out what's left afterwards. So if you can even imagine what that would have been like. So just kind of look at that picture at the end of the slide, let that sink in as to what's happening. And again, it's across the board. It's men, women, and children. It's not just any one group. It's not just adults. So keep that in mind. So again, there's great movies out there about the Holocaust. I know Boy in the Striped Pajamas is probably one of the more popular ones out there to watch. Schindler's List, again, I believe that one's rated R. Just FYI on that. And if, like I said, if you've got time to read, Ava's book, Surviving the Angel of Death, is a fantastic, super quick read. Like, you could probably read it in a day, because it is meant for the middle school, high school age kids. It's a really easy read, but it's fascinating. And I usually get kind of choked up when I talk about her story and what she and her twin sister went through. It is amazing. And I might touch on that a little bit later on. But for right now, I'll see you in a little bit, guys.